Okay, good morning, Mr. Choo. Firstly, on behalf of my group mates from NIE, I would like to thank you for taking your time and keen participation for this interview. We have heard your years of experience in this business. Can we ask exactly how long have you been in this business?
Exactly 20 years.
That's a long time. How long has Trinity Cascade been around?
Yeah, 20
years.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to venture into this business, or rather, was there a particular personal reason that made you want to continue this family business?
Well, firstly, I must qualify that this is not a family business. When I was first approached to express my interest in this kind of business, I purely look at it as a business. And so some friends invited me to put in some money into this business, and I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. Yeah, so that's how I got started. Yeah.
What are some of the satisfactions you get from this job?
Well, actually, I have a lot of satisfaction from families who felt that we have provided them genuine assistance during their bereavements, because that is a time when they are really confused, they are grieving, they do not know what to do. Because there are actually, a survey in the US showed that to have a funeral arrangement done, you have to settle something like 400 over questions, to make a proper arrangement. So I don't expect the bereaving family to be looking through all these 400 issues, to put together to have a good funeral. So I thought it would be a good idea that we help them in the area.
From your years of experience, how has the casket business changed over the years?
Well, definitely, I think the masses, the public or the community in Singapore is more broad-minded now. Even though, although it is still a taboo, they are more accepting, to the process of modernization. We had parlors which were tiled like a toilet, the white tiles, very, very, how do I say, sanitation. In terms of sanitation, it looks like a hospital or look like a mortuary, But now the people are opening up their views to say, hey, you can have a nice, pleasant ambience for a funeral. So that is one area. Second thing is, I think in the areas of embalming, in the past, from what I understand, funeral directors are not so willing to spend so much money on professional embalmers. Right? When I started, I remember that we were the first one to have foreign embalmers, and not only foreign embalmers, they are specialists, and we even have a female embalmer. I thought that when a female deceased needs to be helped, it is proper to have a female embalmer to attend to her, instead of a man going through the bodies of a female death. Yeah, so I thought that was proper.
What were the evolutionary reforms and changes that you have made for Trinity Cascade throughout the years to ensure that this business stays afloat in Singapore?
Well, as far as Trinity is concerned, our focus is on the family. We have dealt with so many families, who were financially not so well-to-do, and we have given them special concessions. Some of them we have even done free funerals. It's just that we don't talk about it publicly like some people do. Yeah. And I think such charity should be just kept within, its normal, perspective. There are other things that I believe the public would appreciate, and that is our personal touch. We don't look at it just as service because it is profitable. We look at it as a service because they are in need, they are grieving, and they need help. And that's when we get the satisfaction when they come back to us and say, hey, thank you very much for journeying with them during this period. Yeah.
Thank you. In your opinion, how are things done differently today as compared to the past?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, let's move on to this question. What are the various considerations that you usually have to take note of when managing funerals of different religions?
Well, I think what is important for us to note is that people's beliefs are important to them, you know, and we do not know, we do not want to arrange something which is not to their belief. They will feel that, oh, they have not given their loved ones a proper farewell, a proper parting. So I think we would have to adhere to what their beliefs are, and we will try to comply to their requests. Yeah. And it's difficult for me to now to go into all the religions, but because there are so many practices. Even among the Chinese, the Teochew, the Hokkien, and the Cantonese, even though they may be worshipping the same God, but the practices are also different.
What is the greatest discovery that you have made about any particular religion?
Well, I can frankly say that from my observations, the Christian funerals, they seem to be more cheerful. You know, they seem to be celebrating rather than grieving or mourning. So that is really a marked distinction. You know, I have seen thousands of funerals over these 20 years. And it seems that, you know, there are the Christians who are singing, you know, and rejoicing and praying and thanking God, you know, for a death. Because to them, death is the beginning of a triumphant life after.
What are the possible problems and difficulties that you can encounter in a business like yours?
Right. I would say that we, in this kind of service, we are dealing with families who are actually grieving. And it is quite natural for some of them to sort of express their grief in anger. You know, and I've experienced that it's really actually quite hurting. You know, when they seem to blame it on you that such a death has happened in your house. You know, even though we are supposed to be here to help them with the funeral arrangements, you know, some of them have expressed in all the expletives, you know, all the bad words and cursings and all that, you know. And we will just have to, you know, be sympathetic. We have to understand that, you know, I don't think they mean it. They're just grieving, they're hurt, you know, they're sad. So we have to just bear along.
Throughout the years of experience, are there any significant events that are particularly unforgettable to you up to now?
Well, I would say the bad ones are like just what I mentioned. You know, people who scold you as if you have caused the death. Yeah, and well, I have one case where an Eurasian lady, you know, from the beginning of the funeral to the end, she would be cursing and swearing at me. You know, but fortunately, after 2 weeks, you know, after everything has subsided, after the funeral, she had the heart to come and call me and say sorry. So that is actually quite memorable, you know. Yeah, and I was glad that in the 2 weeks when I was, you know, thinking about this whole thing, you know, being hurt by such a response from a family, that it would turn out to be an apology, you know, everything turned out well. It's really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Just now we did mention about holding free funerals for those financially difficult.
The destitute and the poor. And
what other things have you done, or what can you do for those clients who face financial difficulty paying for the procedure?
Well, like I say, if they are destitute and they are very poor, we may even do the funeral free of charge for them. And for some who are, you know, who have dignity and who say, you know, I think I still want to pay for it, but can I pay you in installments, you know? And we still allow that. Yeah. And we have had clients who pay us over a couple of years. Yeah.
We understand that a business like yours requires a 24/7 standby mode. With such a hectic schedule, do you actually have holidays?
Actually, personally, I have a lot of holidays. It is how I organize the business. I know it is 24/7. So what I do is I have organized my business, my organization into 3 teams. You know? I have 3 teams to be on duty each different day, so that the duty team will also have rest in other days. Yeah. So I personally would let them do all the operations so that I free myself to do other things.
Is there anyone in your family that will be taking over your business?
At this moment, I'm not too sure, you know, because my eldest son, he's a researcher now with the A-Star, and I think he is going to be awarded a scholarship to go to the UK for his PhD. So I think it is unlikely for him to take over. And then my two other sons, who are twins, they are into media and into 3Ds and designs and all that. I'm not quite sure whether they would be interested to take over the business.
Just now we did mention something about the general public treating this business as a form of taboo. What are your views about the perspectives of the younger generation have towards this kind of business?
Yes, I think the good thing about the younger generation is that I think they would learn to accept that death is part and parcel of life. Yeah, so I think that in that sense it is good. But I would say still that the younger generations would be reluctant to go into this kind of business because it requires the handling of dead bodies, and that would be quite unpleasant. You actually need to be quite a strong character to handle that, because all not dead bodies come in nice forms. They can be diseased, they can be deformed, or it can be through accidents. They come in bits and pieces. So it is not quite easy for an ordinary person to accept that this kind of job.
Okay, actually that will be all. Once again, thank you for your time. We wish you all the best in your business in the
Right, thank
years
you,
to
and
come.
you're most welcome.
Yes, sir.
Right.